Welcome back, guys. In our series of Oracle, we are going to talk about data pump today. What is this? Why this help us in our how this help us in our daily life, in our production tasks, and why everyone needs to be know aware of it. Okay, so we'll see that in today's video, and we'll see what are its options, what's the syntax of it, how we can use this for taking the backup or exporting the data, importing the data. Okay, so let's see. We'll start the video. Okay, so what is data pump? So it's a high performance parallelized data movement tool, okay, used to export, like dump of the data and import, load the data back into the database, and data objects between Oracle database. Okay, so we can export the data and import the data with the help of DataPump. It replaces the older export import utilities, exp, imp. Those are like we are using uh, exp, and then we export the database with some utilities. But this is a utility which is created by Oracle, and it helps us in uh, it's very fast as compared to the earlier uh, backup techniques we were using with Oracle or any other database. So this is quite faster with taking the backups and exporting the data. So if you are like logging into the system and you want to know if the uh, data pimp directory is defined in your system or not, you can check this. So you can check the name and directory path from the view DBA directories. You can use this view and query select directory name directory path from DBA directories where directory name is sys data pump directory. Okay, you can check this and it will give you the output of where your what's the location of your data pump directory. Like if you take the backup using data pump, the dump files will be saved at this location. Okay, so this is how it is taking the pipe backups. And the Oracle DB, this XPDP, this is we are running the data pump job, and it is writing the data block by block into the dump file at a particular location, which is saved in this location. Okay, so what are the key features of data pump? It's high performance. Okay, so it's we can divide it into s- different parameters. Parallel execution. Datapump can be parallelize operations. Okay, significantly speeding up export and import tasks. So we can use parallelism with this. We can use one parallel worker, two parallel worker, 3, 4, 16, whatever we want. Okay, we'll discuss this in our next slides. Direct path export import. If the data is in a format that supports it, DataPump can bypass SQL processing to achieve faster transfer of data. We'll discuss this in the next slides as well. But we are just uh, taking a brief of this for now. Flexibility. Fine-grained control. You can specify which data objects, tables, schemas to export or import. Okay, you can use the schemas. You can verify. You can mention, take the backup of schemas, and you can take the backups of them as well. Okay, as well as you can control the size of dump file as well. You can like save it can be zipped. It can be like how much one file can be of this size only. Okay, you can specify that as well. Metadata and data handling. You can export only the metadata, only the schemas, only the data, or both. Okay, and you can handle the data in the compressed format. Like you can compress the uh, data which we are exporting from this. Network mode. Data pump supports network mode exports and import where data can be transferred between databases over the network. Okay, you can import or export the data from other servers as well. Job monitoring, you can, when like once you start the data pump job, you can monitor the job as well. Okay, or you can cancel or pause them and then resume that after some time as well. Okay, so data filtering, you can use query filters to export or import specified rows from a table. Okay, where you are using the where clause, you can just running the query and then importing the only the specified rows into the pump data pump uh, dump file. Support for large data volumes. Okay, you can take the backup of 1 TB 2 TB around that data as well, and you can use the parallelism to manage resources utilization. So these are the key features of data pump. What are the two big components of it? Like, we can have two components in it. One is export, one is import. So data pump export, which can be done by expdp. That's the command for taking the export, and the for importing, that is impdp. Okay. Okay. So this is the overview. So expdp client, and then data pump job, which is running over a server. This is server process running. You have the database here. Then data pump job is running. It is only getting the uh, things, only getting the schemas you want to dump, and you can get those in a dump file. Same the impdp process, like import process. When you have a data pump job is running, you have the dump file here, and you can import the data into your database. Okay, so this is how the export and import both are running. So export, what is data pump export? Expdp. So the syntax of it is expdp username password, you can use it, db name, directory name, dump file, the log file where you want the logs of this as well. Okay, the schemas, and then you can use the schema name. So these are the parameters you can use in it. Username, password, credentials by which you can access it, db name, the target database to export data, directory that you can mention the directory where you are just dumping the file, uh, where your data pump dump file will be stored. Okay, and dump file, the name of the file. Okay, the log file, so where you can use the where the logs for all this dump file will be exported, the log file place of that file. You can mention the location of log file. You can use the, you can specify the schemas you which you want to export. Okay, you can also use the tables. Okay, as well. So what is the how the data pump import thing? Okay, yeah, the syntax is quite simple for import. M IMPDP username password and at the rate TB name, where you want to import the data, the directory where you want, where that data pump file is located, and dump file where you, where the dump file is located, you can use that, the log file where the logs for this is, this can be used. You can also use remap schema, like you can what the older database name, and you can use where you have the newer database schema. Once in when you have to uh, import, like change the name of a table, you can use this. Change the name of a schema, you can use this. Okay, import export the table schema, and then import the new table schema, and import the same data in a new schema. Okay. Okay, so common options you can use for the data pump. So first and main option is parallelism. We'll be discuss this in next slide, but right now just a brief which options we can use. So parallel, specify the number of threads used for parallel execution. You see, parallel is equal to 4. We are using 4 parallel workers. Same other syntax is quite same. Query, filters data using export and import using where clause. While you're using a table export, taking the backup of a table, you can use this. Okay, you see, it is taking the backup of table employees, and you can use the query where department id is 10. Okay, third one is access method, defines how to read or write the data, typically direct path or conventional direct path, or is the default for most cases. Okay, so another one is content, specify what data to export, metadata like uh, structure, or just the data, or both. You can specify that. Okay, here we are just using content as metadata, like we are just using the structures and those kind of, we are taking the backup. So how it is different from the origin, earlier previous we are what we are using export and import. So the speed, the data pump is generally faster due to parallel processing. Okay, we are using 4, 5, 6 workers as we want, and that can fasten up the backing up process. Flexibility, data pump supports more options. It options job monitoring, files compression. Okay, so for both by export and import. Network mode, unlike traditional export import, DataPump can transfer data between databases without requiring intermediary dump files. Okay, we can directly uh, just export or import the data from one database to another one. Resumable jobs, like you can pause the jobs and resume that later. So where we can use this data pump, like in data migration, when we are just moving the data between different environments, one database to another, you can take the backups and just um, import that onto the cloud or whatever on premises database. Backup and restore, this is the uh, usual use for this, like we are using it for this one most of the time, backing up the data and restoring it. Data copying, like when you want to copy some data and you want to take a copy of a data for some time, or you someone want a copy of a data, particular data, you're just taking the copy, and you can use, you can, or someone from your team, they can use it for reporting purpose. Okay, upgrading or patching, you can export the data and take a dump file, and then you can use just the patching or whatever you want to do with the database, and then if everything's, in case you want to uh, um, roll back it, you can use the dump files. So how you can monitor the data pump jobs? You can monitor the data pump job using the job status view or by querying directly from the DBMS data pump package. You can use select star from DBA data pump jobs. You can use the you can see the jobs running which are running there. Okay, so, and if you want to check the size of the backup or the dump file you are going to take, you can use this select some bytes. This is for, this is in bytes, this is for megabytes, kilobytes, gigabyte. Okay, so this will give you the data in gigabytes from dbs segments. This is the view where your data segments are saved, and you can use the condition where owner in the db schema's name, these are the schema names. Okay, and segment type is table if you want to just taking the backup of table of database schemas. Okay, so these are the schema names. Okay, because indexes are just uh, these indexes are just those, you cannot like take the backup of indexes just like this. You can create the indexes, or those are saved some not in here. Okay, so you just use that segment type table, and then you will be aware of the size of your table, size of your data which you are going to dump. So in summary, DataPump is a powerful and efficient tool for data export and import tasks. It is much faster and more flexible than the traditional export import utilities, offering features like parallel execution, job monitoring, data filtering, and network based transfers. It is commonly used for tasks such as data migration, backup restore, and upgrading Oracle databases. Okay, so how you use it in your daily life, or how you are going to take the backup. This is a lab, you can use this in your lab. Or okay, first you need to specify a location where your data pump, uh, where you're going to take the backup, and where your par file, you can use the par file for use in your data pump. Okay, so you can, the location is the location where you are saving this par files for taking the backup. This is par file which is used by your xpdp uh, data pump directory. Okay, and then you can create a par file here at the location, directory location. The directory is data pump directory, where your uh, the dump after the data pump will be saved. Dump file, your like your uh, the name of your dump file. These dump files will be saved at this location, the data pump directory, and we are using percentage %u. I'll tell you the use of it later. Okay, in our next slide, the log file will be saved at with this name at the same location, data pump directory location. The parallel is equal to 4. We are using 4 parallel workers. Schemas you want to copy. This is 3 schemas. Cluster is equal to no job name, the name of this job. Okay, and the user id you will be using for taking the dump. I usually use sysdba, as it has all the access for taking the dump. Okay, and then you save the directory at some location, and just use this expdp par file is equal to your par file name, and with using and, that will be executed in the background. Okay, and if you can use the no hub as well for taking the backup of this. Okay, running this file. Okay, you can use the backup no hub as well. So what is this parallel is equal to for? We are going to discuss it now. So the parallel parameter in Oracle Data Pump controls the number of parallel workers processed used to perform the export or import operations. By setting parallel is equal to 4, you specify that 4 worker processes will be allocated to execute the task concurrently. They will be used concurrent. They will be worked concurrently, one by not one by one, in parallelly, and uh, taking the data pump, data dump, and dividing the workload among those 4 parallel workers here. You can use 8 as well, 16 as well, depending on the your configuration. Okay, so why we are using it? It's by with using parallelism, the performance can be improved. The export and import task is divided among multiple processes, allowing simultaneous execution of subtasks such as reading, writing, and dump files, or applying metadata changes. This this significantly speed up the process, especially for large databases or complex schemas. So if you use parallel is equal to 4, 8, like if with one worker it will take 4 hours, with 4 workers it will take only 1 hour. Okay, so that's how simple how it is. Parallel dump files. You can with I told you with percentage u. If you are using 4 workers, then 4 files with the name 1 2 3 4 will be created with the xpdp data file name, the name dot test1, test2, test3, test4. The 4 files will be created with 4 parallel is equal to 4. Okay, you see, dump file xpdp1 dump xpdp2 dot dump xpdp3 dot dump 4 dot dump. Resource utilization. DataPump utilizes more CPU and IO resources as additional worker processes operate in parallel. Ensure that the database servers and storage system can handle the increased workload. So if you're using it in you're in off hours, you can increase the number of parallelism. Okay, so that no effect on the database or your application will be. Impact of object export and import. Each worker processes assigned specific objects or partitions to process independently. Okay, so in export, worker 1 might handle table A, worker 2 can handle table B, and in import, in import, worker supply metadata and load data simultaneously for different objects. Okay, so this is how that can be done in both export and import. Oracle will decide how this dump file the workers will work. Parallel metadata processing for large exports, like when you have TBs of data and metadata like schema definition constraints. This is also divided and processed by multiple workers. Okay, enhancing performance. If you want to see the how we are using the xpdp command and what is the metadata, how we are using triggers or all those, you can watch my whole series for Oracle. Okay, so this is the use and effect of using parallelism. So that's all for data pump. I hope this is clear for you. You can use this to take the backup. You can understand everything. If there's anything, just let me know over the comments. I'll be happy to help you. Thanks, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you.